Today seems like a good day for some presents. Let's get into it. Presents. Now, the only person or people that would know about presents is Lily and Lisa. You'll get that. Anyway, what am I talking about? Presents. Now, I'm not talking about birthday presents or anything like that. I'm talking about actual presents, as in here. Lots of arm movements. Presents. There's a lot of talk about being present, and I think this sits in with mindfulness. Be present. So what does this really mean? What do we mean by be present? Something from a personal perspective, it's very easy, particularly in a sort of entrepreneurial mindset or that kind of thing, to sort of, if you aspire to be or want kind of better things or success or whatever that may be or whatever that means to you, it's very easy to sort of almost live in the future. So you basically, your mind is constantly thinking of the next project or the next thing or the bigger house or the better car, whatever it may be. And whilst there's nothing particularly wrong with aspiring to have a betterment of yourself or success and that kind of thing, and I said it from a personal point of view, if I sort of am just constantly looking at the future, I'm sort of not noticing what's going on around me. And I mentioned this like loads of times, but that was to the detriment of my relationship, was that I was so busy focusing on what could be or what can be and what will be, I wasn't really paying any attention to what is, i.e. this minute. It's a tricky one, because how do you get that balance between wanting or aspiring to something better and personal development, and also remaining present? This is where it becomes difficult to be living in the moment and being present, as well as looking forward and planning things and aspiring and further projects and that kind of thing. So it's trying to get that balance. And I think what I've noticed it comes down to is experiencing things now. So an example for myself would be, I may be sort of even watching TV, I'm watching a program, and I'm kind of focused on it, but not totally. My mind is still thinking of some marketing stuff. I'm sort of thinking, okay, how can I do that? And I've got to sort of maybe record a vlog, or maybe record a podcast, or I've got to do that capture page, and kind of sort of half-arsing it. Some attention on the TV program or the film, but the rest of it is sort of on something else, and not just on something else, but something else that's kind of in the future. And that doesn't achieve anything, because one, I'm not really paying that much attention to the TV or the film or whatever it may be, so I'm half-arsing that. I'm also half-arsing the attention or the thoughts on the other side, on the business, and so that didn't really work out well for me. So what I found is, basically, by really going all in on whatever you're doing at the particular moment. So there's always been, I've taken this advice from people like Gary Vee of, be all in, 100% in, and I sort of took that as being just, or my understanding of that was, be all in on your business. But what he's actually saying is be all in on whatever you're doing. So when it's family time, weekend or whatever, whenever family time is, evenings, meal times, whatever, is be all in with the family. The business, away, because it's family time. And then when you're doing the business, be all in. Don't half-arse it, because otherwise you're doing half attention on business, half attention on the family. Both will suffer. And you're not going to get any good results if you call results time with family, but both are going to suffer, which is a bad thing. So what I'm now, and I'm not anywhere near there, but I'm now becoming more aware, and I think that's the biggest thing. One thing, if you can take away from this one thing, it's being aware of where your attention is at all times. So if you've got a full-time job and you're working, be all in on that. Don't be kind of thinking about other stuff. Just all your attention on that. And then at lunchtime, if you're whatever you're doing, if you're reading a book, be all in on reading that book, or chatting to your friends, whatever you're doing, be 100% all in on that thing you're doing, as opposed to your mind kind of all over the place. And you're going to get much better sort of concentration, but you're going to get sort of better results. You're going to understand the book you're reading better, or the TV program, or the film, or the time of the family. You're going to be more connected, more part of their lives, and they're going to feel that you're not just half there. You may be there in body, but your mind is elsewhere. By being all in, and actually that's all your focus is for that time, and then if after that, then maybe the kids go to bed and you're doing some home business stuff or whatever it may be, then you're all in on that. They're not thinking about anything else. And this kind of focus on each aspect of your life is going to be, and I'm noticing it now, so I'm nowhere near there, but this whole point of this vlog is to kind of capture this journey that I'm on and how I'm improving, and hopefully share some insights with you guys. But it's something I am noticing is that by being that sort of almost very, very sort of laser focused on the thing I'm doing, rather than just half doing things, I'm getting much more done, and the things I'm doing are better. Where I notice whenever I'm aware my attention isn't 100%, I may get things done, but the outcome isn't as good, and it's quite obvious to me, and I'm like, okay, that was clear that when my attention wasn't 100% there. And the more I kind of get more aware, I recommend being aware or becoming aware of your attention. What are you literally thinking about? It sounds a bit overly convoluted that you have to think about what you're doing, but after a while it becomes a bit more natural, and you're not sort of consciously having to think about what you're doing. You just naturally are aware of it. It's only initially it's a bit more clunky, but it's quite a powerful thing, because when you sort of catch yourself going, oh, I'm sort of reading my book and I'm watching TV. You can't really do both at the same time. And this is the whole thing about that thing come up, whether it was in the 80s, about multitasking. It's now being sort of understood that actually multitasking is quite bad. As humans, we can't really multitask. Again, we half-arse everything. And so this being aware of your attention helps you to be much more present in that actual moment, so whatever you're doing. Now when it comes to things like personal development and sort of aspiring to be better, and think I want to sort of grow as a person, and that that kind of, and things like the law of attraction, one of the most sort of, I suppose, fundamental things of the law of attraction, it's you attract what you are. So if you are always sort of negative about things and complaining, you'll generally find that your life will be quite crappy. And it's amazing, if you look at people who you might know who are constantly complaining and moaning, they generally have pretty crappy lives, and they're doing that, and they're kind of manifesting, they're attracting into their life that kind of negativity and complainy type stuff, which sort of self-perpetuates the whole thing. Whereas people who are generally, I'm saying this obviously, but like much more upbeat and positive, things like that, they generally have maybe not a super love, but definitely a much happier life, because they're manifesting things and attracting things in a positive nature into their life. So where this fits in with being present, it's actually quite amazing, because if you think about, if you're saying to yourself and affirming, and from the law of attraction perspective, that, let's just use an example, you want a nice sports car. If you're thinking, one day I will have that sports car, that one day I will have that, what you're actually saying to yourself is, you don't have it now, it's going to happen one day. That's just over there in the future. But that, if you're saying that all the time, as you move through time, that one day also moves through time. So you're effectively saying, in the future I will have the car. But because as you move through time and you're constantly saying it, that future moves. So kind of it's never going to be manifested, because you're always saying, I don't have it now, I will have it one day. And you constantly say that, and therefore it doesn't manifest itself. Where that comes into being present, saying things like, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm attracting the car to me. So that's much more, one, it's not putting it out in the future, but it's much more that you are already grateful. You're not saying I'm going to get it one day and then I'll be grateful. You're essentially saying I'm grateful that I'm attracting it into me. And that's, even though it's a slight difference in words, it's much more powerful for the subconscious, and actually the putting out your feelings and what you are. You're basically, the vibrations that are around you, and what you're saying is you are already the type of person that this sort of thing will manifest into your life, as opposed to it's going to happen one day. And that said, it's a subtle difference, but that is also relating to being present at the moment, living in the moment. In the moment, I am the type of person, and I'm grateful that I'm attracting that sort of thing to me at this moment, not sometime in the future. And that kind of affirmation and that kind of mindset, one, will attract things better, but also will just make you happier in general, because you're not living in the future, you're living in the present, you're enjoying the moment, everything. And it comes down to, as well, gratitude is part of that. I'm grateful for everything I have. Not about saying it only, it's feeling it, feeling that gratitude, and feeling that you are so grateful and thankful for being able to attract those things into your life. It will change your life, and that's the law of the universe. And so that being present, and everything around your life is all about the present moment, because you can't change history, you cannot change what's already happened. I've touched on this before, how you react to things is hugely powerful, but you can't change it. You cannot change what's already happened, you can't change what's going to happen. You're in control of how you react to what happens in the future, and that's powerful. But more importantly, how you react and how you act in the present will also shape the future. So being present, being grateful, and thinking about how your life is now, and living your life now, and when it comes to affirmations and things that you perhaps want to achieve, being grateful for being the type of person, and for being having the energy to attract those things, will hugely change how things turn out and manifest. Now, I know it's all very, very deep, but it takes some practice and it to it. But just each day, simple thing, as you wake up, just either say it to yourself or say it in your mind. You're grateful. You're grateful for waking up. You're grateful for having a comfortable bed. You're grateful for having a bed, even if it's uncomfortable. You're grateful for being able to have a drink of water, coffee, or whatever simple things in your life. But be grateful, show gratitude, be actually and feel the gratitude. And also, when you go to bed, just before that, even if you're not into meditating, which I highly recommend, but even if you're not, just before you go to sleep, just again say to yourself, or say in your mind, that you're grateful for the day. Anything you've done in the day, there's always something positive. Now, even if you had a really crappy day, there's going to be something positive. The last sort of thought you have before you go to bed is a thought of gratitude. Doing that morning and evening, guarantee it will change your life, and you'll notice how much happier you are, and fully embracing the moment, as opposed to always thinking of the future, definitely not thinking of the past, and just enjoying that. You will notice the happiness will absolutely flourish. So I hope you got some value from this. It's been a bit of a deep, perhaps maybe a bit rambly, but that's me. If you did get some value, I'd love you to smash that like button and leave a comment. How have you sort of looked at being present? Have you had any sort of struggles with it, and have you kind of got on with that idea? If you haven't subscribed, I'd really appreciate if you would. That would mean the world to me. And hit the bell notification so you know when I release a new video. And for that, I thank you all, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.